Here's the brutal truth nobody wants to say out loud. Most people don't respect what's right. They respect what's controlled, not what's loud, not what's emotional. Controlled. In public, anger is treated like weakness. At work, emotion is treated like instability. Online, outrage gets attention, but not authority. And if someone can make you react on command, they don't just annoy you, they own you for that moment. So the real question isn't, how do I win an argument? The real question is, how do I stay untouchable without becoming passive? In this video, you'll learn 5 short phrases that make you sound calm, sharp, and grounded when someone tries to provoke you. They're not nice phrases. They're not mean phrases. They're control phrases. And stay to the end, because there's one mistake many people make with Stoicism. They use it like a sedative, and then wonder why life keeps stepping on them. By the end, you'll know exactly how to be calm without becoming easy to disrespect. We live in a reaction economy. Social media pays people in likes for outrage. Workplaces reward whoever speaks with the most certainty, not the most truth. Family dynamics often reward whoever can guilt, pressure, or trigger the room. So when people say, "stay calm," it sounds simple, but it isn't. Because calm, done wrong, becomes silence. And silence, in the wrong environment, gets interpreted as permission. That's why this video blends 2 perspectives. Stoicism gives you the inner discipline to not be ruled by impulse. Machiavellian realism gives you the eyes to see how status, ego, and social games actually work. One keeps you from collapsing. The other keeps you from being used. This isn't about being fake. It's about being clear. In each section, you'll get 1. A principle, the lever. 2. A real situation, the pain. 3. A practical solution, what to say, plus how to say it. Let's start. The core frame. Why smart language changes power words don't just communicate information. They signal position. Every time you respond, you're telling people, do you control yourself? Can you be baited? Do you need approval? Are you safe to disrespect? Stoicism says, control your judgments and impulses. Machiavellian clarity says, people test what they can get away with. That's not pessimism, that's observation. So the goal isn't to win every moment. The goal is to make it expensive for people to disrespect you and easy for them to respect you. These 5 phrases do exactly that. Phrase 1. Are you okay? This phrase flips the emotional frame. Instead of you being the one under pressure, it subtly suggests the pressure is coming from them. Picture a meeting. You're presenting an idea you worked on. A colleague smirks and says, "Interesting. I guess we're just recycling old ideas now." The room goes quiet. A few people glance at you, waiting. This is a trap. If you defend yourself, you signal insecurity. If you clap back, you look emotional. If you freeze, you look weak. You can feel it in the body, that sudden heat, that tight chest, the urge to prove. You keep your face neutral. You don't rush. Then, are you okay? Not sarcastic, not sweet, just calm. Why it works. It shifts the spotlight from your idea to their behavior. It implies their comment wasn't normal professional conversation. It forces them to either soften or double down. In many cases, they'll quickly add, "I just mean, I'm not sure it's new." Now the whole room sees they overstepped. Stoic layer. You didn't react to insult, you observed it. Machiavellian layer. You made them manage the social consequences of their own tone. Extra scenario, family. A relative says at dinner, "So you still haven't bought a house?" Wow. The old reaction is shame or defensiveness. Instead, "Are you okay?" It interrupts the judgment. It forces self-awareness, and it protects your dignity without a speech. Timing and body language. Pause for half a beat before you say it. Relax your shoulders. Keep your voice low and even. Make eye contact, then look away first. Subtle signal, you're not seeking approval. When not to use. If the person is genuinely distressed, and this will come off as cold. If the environment is unsafe or aggressive, then leave, don't posture. If the person has authority over you and is clearly looking for an excuse to punish you, use a softer variation like, "Everything all right?" Phrase 2. Silence, 3 to 4 seconds. Anyway. Silence breaks the rhythm of provocation. People who provoke rely on tempo. They say something sharp, expecting you to fire back fast. Silence is the opposite. It makes them feel their own words. Someone comments under your post, "This is why nobody takes you seriously." Or in a group chat, someone throws a jab. "Oh look, the expert has an opinion again." If you respond immediately, you've accepted their frame, that you owe them a reaction. You don't rush, you pause, let the silence sit. Then, anyway, and you move the conversation forward, or you exit. Why it works. It denies them the emotional payoff. It communicates, "This doesn't deserve my time." It shows control without needing dominance. Stoic layer. You choose your response, not your impulse. Machiavellian layer. You refuse to play a game designed to lower your status. Workplace scenario. Someone tries to derail a meeting with criticism for attention. You let them finish. Pause. Anyway, back to the main point. It signals leadership. It tells the room, this meeting has direction. Drama is optional. Relationship scenario. Someone tries to start a fight by bringing up the past. You always do this. You pause. Then, anyway, and you redirect. What are we solving right now? You're not running. You're refusing to be dragged. Timing and body language. Count 1,000 to 1,000 in your head. Keep your face neutral, not smug. Don't roll your eyes. That turns it into a game. When not to use. If the conversation requires accountability, you made a real mistake. If someone is giving serious feedback respectfully, silence is for bait, not for responsibility. Phrase 3. You're allowed to think that. Not every opinion deserves negotiation. Some people don't share opinions to connect. They share opinions to control. You change careers. Someone says, "That's not realistic." You set a boundary. Someone says, "You're being difficult." You don't answer immediately. Someone says, "Wow, you're so sensitive." The trap is approval addiction, feeling like you must correct the record. You respond calmly. You're allowed to think that. Then stop talking. Why it works. It acknowledges without submitting. It ends the tug of war. It signals self-trust. Stoic layer. You don't outsource your inner peace to their approval. Machiavellian layer. You don't feed a power move with emotional energy. Real scenario. Workplace politics. A coworker says, "I don't think you're leadership material." Old response, prove, argue, beg for validation. Smart response, you're allowed to think that. And then you outperform them quietly. Because here's the Machiavellian truth. People respect results more than explanations. Dating/social scenario. Someone tests you. I don't think you can handle a strong personality. You don't defend yourself. You're allowed to think that. And you watch what happens next. If they respect you, they'll soften. If they escalate, you just learned something valuable. Timing and tone. Say it like you're describing the weather. No edge, no apology. Then be silent. Silence after a boundary is what makes it a boundary. When not to use. When someone you trust is offering genuine care and guidance. When you actually want dialogue and connection. Use it for control games, not for real relationships. Praise 4. Did you mean to be that rude? Calm isn't the same as allowing disrespect. Stoicism is not, take it. Stoicism is, don't lose yourself while you respond. And Machiavellian clarity says, people will do what they're allowed to do until it costs them. A coworker says, that was surprisingly good. Didn't expect it from you. A friend says, no offense, but you're kind of slow sometimes. A family member says, you'd be doing better if you were smarter with money. If you blow up, you look unstable. If you stay silent, you train them to keep going. You ask, did you mean to be that rude, or did it come out wrong? This is surgical. It forces clarity. Why it works. They lose their favorite escape route. Relax, it's a joke. Because now the room is watching, and they must choose. Admit intention. Or back down stoic layer. Your tone stays calm. Your heart stays under control. Machiavellian layer. You make disrespect socially expensive. Workplace scenario, public undermining. Someone says in front of others, let's see if you can finally get this right. You don't smirk. You don't clap back. You pause. Calm face. Did you mean to be that rude? Even if they laugh it off, the room felt the shift. They were forced to notice the behavior. Family scenario, passive aggression. Someone says, must be nice to have so much free time. You. Did you mean to be that rude, or did it come out wrong? It's not a fight. It's a mirror. Body language. Keep voice low. Slight head tilt, curious, not angry. Treat it like a clarification, not a confrontation. When not to use. If you're dealing with someone volatile or dangerous, leave. If you're in a fragile environment where retaliation is likely and you have no support, in those cases, choose strategic distance. Power is also knowing when not to engage.
Phrase 5. I'm not the audience for this. Attention is currency. Where you place it is what grows in your life. Machiavellian truth. Some people feed on your reaction. Stoic truth. Your peace is a responsibility. Someone constantly complains. Every day, same problems, same chaos. They don't want solutions. They want an audience. Or someone tries to recruit you into conflict. Can you believe what they did? Say something. If you step in, you inherit their emotional mess. You say, I'm not the audience for this. Not harsh, not cold, just final. Why it works. It ends the loop. It defines a boundary without debate. It protects your mental space. Stoic layer. You choose what enters your mind. Machiavellian layer. You stop being a resource for other people's emotional theater. Work scenario, toxic gossip. A coworker starts gossiping. Let me tell you what happened with the boss. You, I'm not the audience for this. And you pivot. What do you need help with today? You're not policing them. You're protecting yourself. Social scenario, group drama. Someone says, pick a side. You, I'm not the audience for this. Then silence. That silence is a statement. I don't buy social pressure. When not to use. If someone is genuinely reaching out for support in a healthy way, in that case, set a boundary with care. I care about you, but I can't do this right now. The phrase is for drama, not for real pain. Now here's the part that makes people uncomfortable. A lot of people try stoicism like this. Don't react. Stay calm. Let it go. And that helps, internally. But externally, if you never signal boundaries, society reads it as, you're easy, you're unsure, you're safe to test. This is the mistake mentioned at the start. Stoicism without social clarity becomes invisible. Machiavelli would say, people don't attack what looks expensive to attack. Stoicism makes you calm. Machiavellian clarity makes you expensive to disrespect. Together, they create something powerful. You don't rage, you don't plead, you don't chase validation, you move with quiet certainty. That's why these phrases work. They don't beg for respect, they assume self-respect and force others to adjust. Quick practice: how to use these without sounding scripted. Here's how to make them natural. 1. Pick one phrase for 1 week. Use it in small moments first. 2. Lower your voice, slow your pace. Speed sounds defensive. 3. Say less than you want to say. The extra sentence is usually where power leaks. 4. Let silence do the heavy lifting. Silence is not emptiness, it's confidence. So if someone tries to provoke you, bait you, embarrass you, or pull you into drama, 1. Are you okay? Flips the frame. 2. Silence. Anyway. Ends the trap. 3. You're allowed to think that. Breaks approval addiction. 4. Did you mean to be that rude? Makes disrespect costly. 5. I'm not the audience for this. Protects your attention. These aren't cute phrases. They're what calm looks like when calm has teeth. The world doesn't get quieter. People don't suddenly become kinder. And social games don't disappear. But your responses can become cleaner. You don't have to fight every battle. You don't have to explain yourself to every critic. You don't have to be the emotional puppet in someone else's story. Control is not coldness. Control is freedom. If this helped, hit like, so more people who feel constantly provoked can find it. And if you want more practical tools that blend inner discipline with real-world clarity, subscribe. Now a question for you. Which of these phrases is hardest for you to say out loud? Because you're afraid it might make things awkward, drop it in the comments. Chances are, you're not alone.